Okay, friends, starting off on your back. Take your time, just relaxing your whole back body and kind of smooshing your shoulder blades into the floor. Allow your breath to get really big and really slow. Okay, give yourself some time to transition out of this mode that we are conditioned, and it's kind of necessary that we spend time during the day doing things and being responsible and having these roles that we have. So give your body a little time to come down and just be. And I like to, especially if you've been sitting a lot today, maybe you've been at your desk, putting a little bit of a bend in your knees and knocking them together can allow your low back to release more softly toward the floor. So especially if you're feeling some low back discomfort or tension today, try that little trick. And if you're feeling tight across your chest, a lot of us can get that way when we're working at computers or doing things in front of us. If you put a little bend in your elbows and just drop your hands to the floor, palm up, you might feel that your chest can get a little bigger there. And see if you could lengthen out your breath and make it complete. Take in your longest, most complete inhale. And press out your longest, most complete exhale. Clean out your lungs. So we'll take a few more rounds of breath, just like this. Continue to breathe deeply all the way in. And exhale all the way out. Nice and slow. Notice your rib cage and your belly puffing open, and then strong closing inward. So we want to think of using all the musculature in your torso, your belly, your back, with your breath. Use that movement. As you continue to breathe deeply, notice your body relaxing. Feel your rib cage melting open wide in the front. And the back body getting heavier with each breath, sinking down into the earth. Feel even your face relax, especially your jaw. Wow, it's amazing how much tension we can hold in the jaw. So relax your bottom jaw away from the top. Lots of space between your top and bottom jaw. Allow your forehead to relax. And even your fingers and toes. And just take a moment here now that we've brought some awareness to breath and noticing the movements of your body along with your breath. Notice your thoughts, okay? And just notice what kind of thoughts are happening in your head right now. Continue to find that biggest inhale. through your nose as much as you can. And that biggest exhale. You can allow it to make kind of a roar sound in your ears. You'll hear that breath roar. So let's see if we can keep this big breath moving. And you can keep your eyes closed. For this practice, I'll try to be so direct and helpful with my words that you don't really need to open your eyes unless you really want a visual to go along with the words. So feel free to rest your eyes as long as you need to. Let's bring in a little gentle movement. So bring your knees into a bend so that your feet can step up next to where your hips are. And then try shimmying your feet away from each other so that they are a little bit wider than your hips. And if you're on a mat, you can imagine the feet walking off the edges of your mat. And then very gently, almost passively, effortlessly, allow your knees to drop toward one side. Bring them through center and then allow them to drop to the other side. So I call these windshield wipers. And we'll just take a nice and easy few rounds side to side. Continue to breathe. Notice that your hips are getting a really lovely massage here. We have the internal hip and then external hip in rotation, side to side. The low back is getting a nice ringing out, so it should feel great in the low back and all around the base of your spine. I find that this movement is paired very well with cactus arms. So make little saguaro cactus arms here where you're bending your elbows and you're pressing your hands on the back of your hand to the floor. And this will feel really nice and broad across your chest, like you're making wings. So experiment with this. If you put a little bit of resistance of your upper body into the floor, so you're pressing down through your hands and your arms, then you can feel a little bit more mobile in the lower body. So the upper body stability can give us lower body mobility. And we can use that to our advantage. So let's maybe start to activate this movement a little more. Draw the knees downward on this side. Draw them a little more firmly downward on the other side. Notice your hips. Okay. And you can always feel free to make these movements very gentle. Anything I suggest to you, you can make it more small and subtle, or you can make the movements bigger. Okay, you're always fitting my suggestions to the practice that you want today. So next time your knees come through center, friends, let's pause right there. And let's take this twist that we've been working with further up into the spine. So bring your knees up and together. So we're bending at the knee, and we've now glued our legs together. Keep your goalpost arms. As a matter of fact, keep them nice and active, pressing down into the floor. And this doesn't have to be a whole lot of strength. As a matter of fact, if you just used maybe 5 to 10% of your strength to press down into the floor, that would be quite enough. And keeping your cactus arms, go ahead and drop your legs and hover them on one side. Bring them through center and hover them on the other side. And we'll take a few rounds like that. So inhaling through center. Try exhaling as you twist to one side. Inhaling through center. Exhaling and twist to the other side. Keep it going. You find a pace. Your pace might be different from mine. Try looking away from your knees and keeping those shoulder blades grounded. I hope that you feel this nice twist moving further up your back now into your upper back. And if you turn your head away from your knees, the twist goes all the way up to the base of your skull, massaging all the tissues of your spinal column. Okay, so let's play around a little bit more with some twisting. Next time your knees drop over to the right, let's pause right there and we'll just explore a little bit of a different flavor of twist. So let your knees drop all the way to the right, okay? And then pick up your left hand, bring it over towards your right hand, okay? And you can reach your hands out long here. And I like to call this shape a sandwich shape. So build what might look like a little sandwich shape where your left hip is stacked over your right. Your left shoulder is stacked over your right. Okay, even your knees and your ankles and your hands are stacked. So something that happens sometimes when we're in this shape is the right side has a tendency to kind of collapse toward the floor. So do your best to neutralize your spine and create a little mouse hole of space under your right side that you could slide your left hand under if you wanted to. And that's going to keep us spine long. And that's what we need when we're twisting. So as you're ready, we'll start to put the left fingers on the floor, just above your right hand, okay? And keeping those fingers on the floor as long as you can. Draw a big half circle, a big rainbow shape on the floor over your head with that left hand. Big sweeping shape open as you look out to the left, and you'll pause when you're reaching and looking to the left. Use your exhale to trace the rainbow back the way you came until you're looking out to the right again. So we'll take a few more like that. I'm thinking 5 or 6 more with long, slow inhales and long, slow exhales. Close your eyes. Okay, remember that right side mouse hole. Lift that right side a little bit. Okay, a couple more. Think of lifting your big heart up and open with each inhale. And using your strong belly muscles on the exhale. And hopefully you feel this twist massaging your whole entire back, okay, your spine. And then next time you open up into the twist, let's pause right there and just enjoy it for a little while. So your arms are open wide and you're looking to the left. Let's just breathe here for a little while. So I'd like to take 4 or 5 or 6 long, slow breaths right here. While you're doing that, think of opening your wingspan really wide. So spreading open your chest, lifting your heart. And using your strong belly muscles on the exhale to pull the belly button into your spine. When we strengthen the belly muscles in that way, we set the low back up for success, okay? Supporting that low back. One more long, slow breath here. Okay, yogis, let's bring the legs through center. Okay, and if you guessed we are dropping them to the other side now, you are right. So go ahead and drop them to the left, okay? And then as your knees drop, you'll take that right hand all the way to the left. Line up your little sandwich shape, okay? Make sure you have the left side lifting and little mouse hole under the left side. And now the right hand is drawing the half circle overhead. Big breath in, opening up to look to the right. Big exhale, closing it up to look to the left. So find your little rhythm here. Breathe deeply into this amazing twist. Find your biggest chest and your strongest belly. Okay, my friends. Next time you open up into your twist, hold it here. Big wingspan. Big, long, slow breaths. Take several. Find that maybe your heart could get a little higher. The belly button pulls in a little stronger with your exhales. Keep in mind here, when we're twisting, we want to emphasize the length in the spine. So you can always be sensing the top of your head moving away from your tailbone in a twist. One more breath here. And as you're ready, we're letting this one go. So we'll bring the knees back through center. Pause here to grab each knee. You can either hook your hands behind your knees or in front, okay, just depending on what's more comfortable for your knee joint. And take the knees in mirror image circles. So draw circles with each knee, stirring open and warming that hip joint. And let's rewind that. Take the circles back the other way. Okay, let's bring the knees back in towards center here. And then just drop your feet next to your hips. Okay, and then go ahead and take your arms out by your hips, so palms down on the floor. And then we'll start to play around with some spinal mobility. So waking up the back of your body a little more, helping to release any tension in the front of your body that might still be hiding in there. So before we even begin to move, we want some alignment cues to help us along the way. One of my favorite alignment cues in a bridge posture, which is where we're going, is to point your nose directly up at the ceiling and pretend like the back of your neck is a little bridge and you don't want the bridge to collapse down toward the ground. So keep a little bridge under your neck, okay? And then put a little distance between your feet and a little distance between your knees. And then in your imagination, stick a tennis ball between your knees and hold it there. So there's still a space, right? But the knees are engaging inward. And you'll feel this activate your core and keep you nice and strong and supported as we move through this bridge. So nose points up, tennis ball between your knees. As you inhale, point just your tailbone up at the ceiling first. And then feel one vertebra at a time. Lift up off the floor toward the sky until your hips are as high as you want them to go. And with your exhale, think of rolling down the opposite way. One vertebra at a time. The tailbone is the last one to come down. So let's take that a few more times. Inhaling to roll it up. Hips up, knees holding your tennis ball, nose pointing up. And exhale, roll it down. Let's do this maybe 5 more times. Okay, nice and slow. Keep it moving. Find some really nice fluid movement in your spine, cultivating skill and control, cultivating core strength, and a great support system for your low back. Okay, so you probably feel the back of your body getting a little bit warmer now. Okay, I know I do. So next time you come up, let's see if we just want to hold there for a few breaths. If you need to come down, please come down. Take that break. But if all is going well, maybe you bend your elbows to make robot arms and press the backs of your arms into the floor. Nice big breath. See if you could point your tailbone at your knees. Hold that tennis ball between your knees. One more big breath here. Let's see if we could roll down in slow motion. Roll one vertebra at a time all the way back down. Okay, drop your palms here. Let's take a few windshield wipers just to shake that off. Okay, nice. Glute activation, hamstring activation, core control. Bridges are so great for keeping the back body balanced. All right, my friends, as you're ready, tuck one hand behind each knee. And we'll just take some pretty playful rocks and rolls. So nothing too crazy. You're just gonna rock yourself up to a seat and then gently roll yourself back down on the floor. And we'll take a few more rounds like this. You can make it as subtle and as little of a movement as you like. Maybe 3 more times. Okay, it feels really nice on your back. It's a good back massage. And let's do this one more time. And I'll meet you back in a seat. Okay, if you point your knees out to one side here, let's point them out to the right. So knees will point to the right. And I'm just gonna turn slightly so that you can see more of what I'm doing, if you need to. So, sitting on your right hip, you're gonna feel your left hip come up off the ground, and that's okay. Take a look at your right shin and line it up so it's parallel to the edge of your mat if you're on one, okay? It's lined up straight out in front of you. And I'm showing you what that looks like if my words aren't super clear. Okay, take your left toes, bend at that left knee and point the left toes behind you so that when you look down at your legs, you see a little triangle shape, okay? Your right toes on your left knee. So we could call this a mermaid shape because this is kind of like a mermaid tail kind of situation that we have. Go ahead and drop your right hand over on the right, okay, just underneath your shoulder. Take a big breath in here and push down into both of your knees. Lift your hips up. You're gonna sweep that left hand overhead. Make a big side opening feeling. Okay, some nice spaciousness all across your left side. With your exhale, come on down. Drop the left hand. You can just do fingertips. And with your inhale, let's get the right hand up. This time we're going to keep the hips down, and we have a really nice side bend on the right side. So we'll just go side to side like this, okay? Exhaling to come down, inhaling to come up. Okay, find a nice pace that feels relaxing. And this is a really good one to close your eyes and just move. And maybe 3 more rounds on each side. Okay, notice your low back. Maybe on each side you feel some great low back release. Rib cage, okay? Okay, next time you come down, both hands are down, we're just gonna switch sides. So you can lean back on your hands, point your knees back up at the ceiling, and then point them over to the left. And we'll build the same shape on the other side. Okay, I'll spin around so I'm facing you, but we're in the same shape. So now the left shin is gonna line up in front of you, so your shoulders are squared off on this left shin. Okay, the right toes point behind you. And when you look down at your legs, you see a little triangle shape. So same thing on this side, left hand on the floor, under that left shoulder. Inhaling, knees press down, hips up. Okay, that right arm sweeps over your head. And exhale to bring it down. Other side, inhale. And exhale. A few more breaths, just like this. Keep moving, keep breathing. As your hand goes up, try to keep your shoulder blades down so that your neck stays long and soft. A few more times on each side, okay? Just following your breath pace. If you feel a particularly nice feeling, you might just linger there. Okay, next time both of your hands are down, pause right here, okay? And I'll have you put both of your hands over on the left, and we can flip to hands and knees from here. So just bring both your knees underneath your hips and find yourself in a hands and knees position. Now we're in a really great place to do some wrist care. Okay, a lot of us are spending a lot of time with our devices these days, and we're really using our wrists. So let's make sure we're also maintaining them and caring for them. So you can start with just one hand at a time, and if it's really comfortable, you can do two. But try just flipping your palm up at the ceiling so your fingers point back at your knees, okay, to where you could make a fist. And then drop the top of your hand to the floor. You can start to roll around on it a little bit. You can do little circles. It's really up to you. Okay, I'd say start with one, and then you can do two, or you can just switch sides. So do some rolling around on the top. Okay, try to make a fist, and then spread your fingers. Make a fist. Spread your fingers. A few times. Fist. Fingers. Okay, notice if there's a particularly tender spot that you need to kind of wiggle extra into. Okay, friends, and then we'll flip it over. Let's make sure we do the other side. So flip so the palm is facing down, and now the fingers point back at your knees. And again, just one hand or two. And for this one, I like to do little circles. Okay, little circles with bent elbows. And then you can also kind of experiment with peeling back, peeling your palms up and down. Okay, moving your hips back towards your feet and then back towards your hands. So it should always feel good. It should never hurt. If you feel any pain, just back up. Okay, take a little break if you feel pain. Okay, let's bring that back to normal. Maybe shake it out. Okay, it's so good and it's so important that we take care of our wrists. Okay, my friends. So find a really strong, stable hands and knees position. And what I mean by that is spread your fingers wide and put some active grip down into your hands. So I call this the tiger claw. And I know that it's working when I see my mat buckling a little bit under my fingers. So tiger claw. Activate your chest by pulling your elbows slightly inward toward each other and do your best to have a long neck. Okay. Pairing with that, we have a strong belly lifting up toward the low back to keep your low back safe. So from here, we'll begin to move your spine a lot more. With your inhale, think of pulling on the mat. Pull your heart forward between your arms. Okay, you're pointing your tailbone up, but you're doing your best to tuck that belly in. And with your exhale, push the floor away. Round your spine. Shake your head. Let it hang. So let's take a few more rounds flowing this way. Inhaling, heart rolls forward. I want you to pull on that mat. And exhale, push the floor away. Keep going. Again, close your eyes. Just find your own rhythm here. And notice your tailbone points down. Your spine starts to kind of roll into a rounded shape. When your tailbone points up, your spine rolls into an arched shape. And then make this not only front back, but make it side to side. So you can try some kind of snaky side to side movements as well. Getting into all the pieces of your back and your rib cage that need a little extra love. All right, beautiful people. Maybe one more breath in your cat pose and one more breath in your cow. One more extension, one more flexion of your spine. And then bring it back to a nice flat back. So hopefully you can feel that your whole entire back and front is a lot warmer. Let's pick the right knee up here. And keeping your hips as level as you can, okay? So without letting the right hip lift above the left, let's do some little hip circles with the right knee. So make little circles. Notice that if you can't lift the hip, you feel a little bit limited, okay? And we're doing that on purpose. We're experimenting. Well, let's rewind it. Take the knee back in the opposite direction. So hopefully you feel that hip warming, okay, kind of lubricating all the tissues, cleaning out your joint. So now we're gonna lift the right hip. We're gonna intentionally pick the right hip up, stack it over the left, and make these circles really, really, really big and silly. And bring in a lot more warmth to the low back, the legs, even your upper body. Okay, let's rewind. Big, silly circles. And then as you're ready, just bring that right knee back to the floor, okay? We're gonna switch sides. So we'll pick the left knee up, stabilize those hips for now. So keep the left hip low, and we'll circle it out. Okay, rewind that. Remember to keep your belly strong here. So you're trying to keep your low back away from the floor. Now let's open up the left hip, pick it up, stack it on top of the right. Big, silly circles. Okay, we're cultivating this hip warmth, this low back warmth, and that's really going to help us when we get back down to the mat. Let's rewind the big, silly circles. Okay, my friends, next time the left knee comes down, pause. Okay, take a moment to notice how all that tissue across the hips and the low back is feeling. And then we'll get back down to the mat. So if you just sit your hips down to one side, you can come all the way down. Okay, legs out long in front of you. I like to roll down in kind of slow motion. So you can tuck your hands behind your knees and come down. Take a moment just to get your feet up in the air here. You can have your hands, your arms in a cactus shape out to the side and circle out your ankles. Make some circles, really big and slow. Circle them the other way. Let's do some figure eights with the ankles. Okay, I like to think of moving the ankles here until you feel your shins and your calves getting a little bit warm. Reverse your figure eights, probably getting some warmth built in those lower legs at this point. Whew. And go ahead and rest them. Put a little bend in both. And then I just want you to cross your right leg over your left. So cross at the knee, okay? And then you can tuck the knees in towards your chest. With your cactus arms nice and grounded, just drop your knees to the left. Okay, we're gonna look to the right. And we'll take some time just to breathe right here. So any inhale that you're taking is making a big space in your chest, of course. And as you're exhaling, you're thinking of your strong belly muscles moving inward, supporting your low back. Twists are a wonderful way to conclude a yoga practice because they help to cool down your body. They also give us some great detoxification benefits, and not to mention we're recalibrating your whole spine and all the little muscles that attend it. One more breath here in this nice twist. And go ahead and bring your legs back through center. You can untangle them, stick them back up in the air. I like a few ankle circles in between, and then we'll just switch sides. Okay, so we're gonna put a slight bend in both knees. Cross your left knee over the right. Okay, tuck the knees in towards your chest and just allow them to fall to the right. Okay, so in a twist, we want to look away from our legs. So go ahead and look out to the left. Big breath here. Nice and easy. Big chest. Strong belly. Feel your spine getting wrung out. Feel your body cooling down, your breath getting slower. Any little last remaining bits of tension just melting off of you. Okay, as you're ready, let's bring the legs back up and in. And then uncross legs, untangle them. Okay, one more thing that I'd like to do with you before we rest. So stretch out your legs nice and long. Stretch out your arms nice and long overhead. So think of making yourself as long as you can be. And then do your best to drive the shoulder blades away from your ears. So making that long neck. And then let's take the feet a little bit over to the right. So just walk your feet over to the right. Make sure your glutes, both of them, are still on the floor. And then walk your hands a little bit to the right too. So what we've done is we've made a little banana or a crescent shape. We've made a curved shape out of your body. And breathe here deeply into that left side body. Big inhales. Big exhales. Making sure that the whole left side is still grounded. It hasn't peeled up. And let's take some time to come through center now and just do the other side. So walk your legs and arms through center. And let's take everything out to the left, arms and legs. Make sure your glutes and shoulders haven't peeled up. Sometimes they want to, so watch out for that. Breathe. Now your right side is getting so long and open. Notice your breath spreading extra space into your rib cage, your low back, your armpit. And take your time coming back through center, friends. And now float your hands down by your hips. Close down your eyes if they were not closed already and start to rest. So here is the best part of the whole yoga practice. We get to let go of controlling the breath, let go of moving the body, and just be still. Allow your body to be soft. Any tension just draining out. Notice your jaw. See if you could soften it a little more. Perhaps softening your forehead or your eyeballs or your tongue a little more. What about your hands and feet? Feel the breath coming in. Feel the breath going out. Or maybe finish your practice off today with a soft smile on the corners of your mouth. So my friends, please keep resting just like this for as long as you can, okay? Ideally, 5 minutes is a great place to start, but even more is longer, or even more is better. So even longer of a rest would be even better. So thanks so much, everyone.